A good episode? Alright, so I just got done watching Can You Hear Me, which is the 7th episode of Doctor Who Series 12. And I've got to say, I thought it was pretty good. Not perfect by any stretch, but probably one of my favourites of this era thus far. The concept is probably one of the best concepts that the series so far, the Chibnall era, has done. You know, a nightmare sort of episode is a great idea for an episode. It reminded me very much of the Nightmare Man episode of Sarah Jane, in a way that it was like, it gave you an insight into the minds of the main characters, and it was very similar here. I thought, you know, all the characters were well utilised. I thought it was a good concept. I thought it was appropriately quite dark in places. The villain was actually a threat. Sorry, I'm still a little bit ill. Yeah, the villain was actually a threat this time round, which is something I appreciated. 13 wasn't that cringy. I thought it was pretty good, I'm not going to lie. I thought even things like the quieter incidental music worked quite well for this. Now, I know there are some of you who just flat out reject that this series can do anything of quality, and I understand that, but I will admit, this episode did kind of impress me. There was there were some elements that I still found a bit wonky, like the creatures, the CGI on the creatures that came from that woman's head was a little bit, and the message was actually subtly implemented in a really clever way, and to top it all off, we got some development for the main companions. I just thought it was pretty good, to be honest with you. I won't lie, I really liked the journey that each of these people went on. Each of the companions, they really revealed something about themselves, obviously with Graham and his cancer, and thinking about Grace, it shows that he's still a character, which is something I appreciated. Yaz, we actually got some origin to her, and how she wasn't always a well-adjusted police officer, she was a scared kid at one point. And Ryan obviously actually being scared that he's gonna grow and leave his friends behind and they're gonna, like, you know, abandon him and forget about him. I just thought it was really solid, and again, it reminded me of the Nightmare Man with Luke basically being forgotten by his family and his friends. Yeah, I just thought it was well executed. As I say, you know, no episode is perfect, but this was pretty good. And I thought it was a dramatic improvement over last week, and to be fair, the week before that didn't rely on fan service. In fact, I think the only bit of fan service there was when they said about, oh, we're going to use the telepathic circuits, something that's being used quite frequently in Modern Who to sort of go into the minds of the companions. But that worked fine here, and it wasn't super on the nose fan service. I just thought it was well done. I'm not going to lie. You've got to give credit where credit is due, otherwise you're not being fair to the content that you're watching. And I've got to be fair and say this episode was pretty good. Again, nothing mind-blowing, but pretty good. The animated segment was pretty well done. It wasn't as big a deal as some people were making it out to be on social media, but I thought it was pretty well done. You know, it was used in the right way to sort of show the origin of these two gods. As I say, the villains were quite good. Not so much the lady I felt was a bit underdone, but the bald guy I found to be quite threatening, which was good to see. And they actually, you know, posed a threat to 13, and she didn't just easily defeat them. Although I will say, like with a lot of Chibnall episodes, the resolution did feel quite rushed. It was kind of almost like, okay, I'm here now, and then, oops, zap, you're in the queue box thing. But I think, you know, other than that, I thought it was pretty decent. To be honest, I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of you come to these initial reactions expecting me to do some big wild rant like I did for my Fugitive of the June video. but there's not a lot that's rant-worthy with this one. I just thought it was really well done. I'd love to see more stories like this. I prefer darker stories in my Doctor Who. So I appreciated this one, to be honest. And it might be one of the few Jodie Whittaker era episodes that I might actually revisit, for the simple fact that it was just well done. And regardless of the lead and, you know, any characters, I think you could put pretty much any Doctor in this story and it would still work just as well. You know, it's really good, really well done. I haven't got much else to say on that, really. One other thing that I'd like to add is that the ending with the Doctor talking to Graham and she's just acting all socially awkward, I didn't really think that fit with the subject matter at all. I thought that was quite just uncomfortable, really, to sort of brush that issue under the rug as if it was nothing. It was just kind of one thing that tainted the ending of what, you know, could have been a pretty solid ending. Other than that, though, as I said, it was, you know, pretty solid. So, yeah. I will say as well, one other thing is that I quite liked how the friend character came back in this episode from Spyfall, because it at least shows that he wasn't a one and done and they're actually willing to explore the home life. Also, the cameo of the Dregs was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I thought very much that Orphan 55 was going to stay a sort of forgotten memory of pretty much everyone involved in it. It was also nice to see that those set images that we got were accurate as well. That was quite cool to see. Yeah, overall, I pretty enjoyed this episode. The cinematography, particularly at night, was pretty good. Some of the lighting was very nice. Yeah, I just thought this was pretty solid. And the message, obviously, with the whole speak to people if you need help thing, I thought that was really good and a really important message for someone like me as well, who suffered with negative thoughts like that. I actually thought that it was really well done. And yeah, to be honest, this is like the first really positive reaction I've done. This is the first positive reaction in general that I've done. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below, whether you loved it or hated it. What were your thoughts? As always, I've got a Twitter and a Discord. I'd love to see you on there. I'm also going to be on the Time of the Whovians Did It Fail video for this episode. So I will give you a link to that as soon as it's out. It'll probably be out the coming Monday of this episode. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you. Also, one thing before I go is that there's a special thing at the end of this video, so please stick around till after the merch ad for that. Also, on the topic of merch, I've added some new stuff to the store, some of which I'm not proud of, but for future reference, I'll explain why that one particular item that doesn't really fit with the rest of the items is on the store. But we got new pillows, socks, all sorts. So if you guys could go check that stuff out, I'd be hugely appreciative. And if you send me an image of you rocking said merchandise, whatever you choose, I will put it in a video. Whatever you should decide, whether it's the socks, the pillows, the tops, the jackets, whatever you decide to put on, I will put it in a video at the end if you wear it. Obviously, I've basically thought of all the different things, even stickers, so you can even stick a Theory sticker on your, I don't know, anything really, whatever you want on your wall, whatever, go nuts with it. Anyway, back to the ad. Have you been craving some high quality merch that doesn't have She Who Shall Not Be Named on the cover? Are you struggling to get a gift for a family member or relative after they seem to have everything after Christmas? Well, fear not, as I have the perfect solution. Introducing Thary's merch! Not only is this merch high quality and affordable, but if you purchase it you'd also be helping me, which means a lot. But I didn't stop at just shirts, oh no. On the Thary's merch store you can get notepads, hoodies, mugs, and more. Just visit the link in the description below, and on screen now. Because hey, every penny you spend in the Thary's merch store is a penny that the BBC won't see. And I think that that's something we should all be proud of.
Oh, look down there, you got a little shop. I like a little shop.
Never mind that. Make sure to exterminate that subscribe button.